Hi, this is Dreama, and today we are doing a past life tarot card reading. And this is a client reading, and as with all the readings that I do for clients, I know their name and they know their name, but I won't be saying it in this video. Now, today we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams, and it is a deck that I am very connected to and one that I use quite often. Now, today's reading, we're going to be using a 4-card spread. Now, I actually can do this reading with a 3-card spread, but I have found out that a lot of times when I do the 3-card reading, then the client will have a question, what should I do now? So I've added a 4th card to this spread so that we're able to kind of help guide the client in that respect. Now, the way this is going to work, the first card will represent the past life, and the second card will represent the present, but how it's affected by the past life. The third card will actually also be an overall card for the overall present time, but will also take into consideration the past life and just how it's going to affect them in the future, okay? And then lastly is what I call the should I, shouldn't I card. And that will kind of give us some guidance into what the client should or should not do in the future, okay? All right, now we're going to start with this card here on the first one. Okay. And we have the Page of Coins. Now, the question is, what does that really tell us, about the past life? Now, I'm not sure how well you can see the card in the video, but this is actually a very good card. So this tells me that this person had a very good past life. I really think, because the Page is very young, that they had a very good childhood in the past life. I'm getting kind of that this life there was some sort of sad news that was given to the client in their past life. Something happened in their past life. I'm getting extraction. So there was a breakup of a marriage or the death of a loved one. I think it's a death of a loved one. And it was an immediate family member. It was either a child or a spouse, but there was a death that was associated with this past life. But before this extraction took place, the client had a very good past life. And then suddenly something happened and took away from them this person in their family. It was either a child or a spouse, and they became deceased, okay? It affected their past life quite tremendously. And I'm not sure if you can see, but the face in the card is a very young face. So that tells me that they had a very good younger life in childhood, but later on, when they became married and had children, there was a loss. And I really don't think they were very old when this happened. They were married very young. Very young. I would say before they were 20. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the present. And we have the Priestess. Now, this is an interesting card. It's a very powerful card. I'm not sure just how well you can see it, but it's a card to me about strength. And it tells me that right now what the client, is going through is something where you feel you need a lot of strength. Okay? Almost as if it's a big burden that's going on in your life right now, and one that requires some wisdom and things like that. And I think that there's a fear. She's kind of clutching the ball in her hand. There's a fear of loss. I think you have a deep fear of loss that has come about from what happened in this past life. You kind of have trouble within your relationships and things like that, just because it's very hard to hang on to things. You're afraid to get close to people for fear that something bad will happen. And that fear is caused by this loss in the past life. All right, now we're going to go to the overall present and the possible future for the client. And we have the Star card. Now, this is an interesting card. I'm not sure how much you can see, but there's a lady, and she is pouring what appears to be jugs of water into the water. Now, what I'm getting from this card, now remember, this is about the present and the future. This card, actually, to me, is about loss, more loss, but there's hope because they're pouring back into the water. So what that tells me about the future is that in order to open yourself up and have a fulfilling life, in the future, what would have to happen is you would have to actually let people in and try to hang on to these good relationships. This fear that lives within you from the past, can greatly influence your future. But, if you allow things to kind of flow and actually try to get past this fear, then I would think that this is just about hope, that there will be a lot of hope and a lot of goodness in the future, okay? However, there's a fear of being abandoned, and that fear doesn't go away in the future for you. It's just something that you're going to have to work through on a daily basis, okay? And once you do that, things will begin to get better. But I do see a very hopeful future, okay? And lastly, we have the what should I do, what shouldn't I do card. Lovers. Now, this is an interesting card because I'm not sure how well you can see it, but this is a card, and it's not just about love. This is about completeness. What I'm getting from this card as what should or shouldn't you do is that there's going to be some trials that you will need to overcome. And a lot of it is going to be letting go of this fear of abandonment. If you do that, then your future will end up being complete. I see a completeness, and this is more than just a lover's card. This card is about fulfillment and personal fulfillment and just feeling good about yourself and your relationships. And I really think that what you need to do, according to this card, is to try to get past that fear of abandonment. Don't be afraid to take on new relationships or rekindle old ones that the fear may have crippled you. You need to try to let someone in and let someone become close to you, okay? And that's kind of what I'm getting, is there's going to be some sort of closeness, and you need to allow that to happen, okay? All right, that does conclude my reading for today, and I would like to thank everyone for joining me, and I do hope to see you all again.